Let me tell you about the wildest, most jaw-dropping year of my life, all because of a chunk of land, an old stone wall, and two neighbors who made me wish you could stamp return to sender right on a person's forehead. I know sounds dramatic, but hang with me. You'll see what I mean. If you ever thought rich folks would keep to themselves and let you live in peace out in the country, buckle up because this story is a whole different ride. So picture this. I just inherited my grandparents' 50-acre farm, the kind of place where the grass rolls for days, old barns slump into the horizon, and the air smells like cut hay and history. My great-granddad bought this land before the roads even had names, and he built every inch of it, stone wall and all, with his own hands. Every summer, I'd run wild out there helping Grandpa fix fences, learning how to spot a post about to give way coming in at dusk with dirt under my fingernails and that kind of tired that feels good in your bones. My grandma now, she could grow anything. The garden stretched almost as far as the pasture, and she'd rattle off soil secrets like she was Moses at the mountain. That place, I mean, it wasn't just a piece of land. It was roots, blood, sweat, every memory I'd ever cared about. When they passed last year, I didn't just lose family. I lost the last little bit of childhood I had left. But I knew deep down I had to keep that land alive no matter what it cost. So I quit my job in the city, packed my stuff, and drove out to the farm ready to start over from scratch. The place was rough, leaky, barn roof fences drooping like tired shoulders, weeds chest high in the fields. But there was still something alive underneath, waiting for someone to fight for it. I burned through my savings, brought those old tomatoes back from seed, and even started raising rescue animals. You should have seen Hamlet the pig, with more attitude than a used car salesman, or my guinea fowl that screamed like sirens but kept the bugs down. I was barely 3 months into this new life when the spaceship landed, not literally, but that's what I called the glass and steel mansion that sprouted right on my property line. I mean, it looked like someone had dropped a Beverly Hills show home smack into the middle of farm country. All mirrored windows, neon green grass, not a speck of dirt in sight. The first time I saw the new neighbors, I was fixing a stone wall that had slumped in the snow. The wife came striding over, white sneakers sparkling, not a scuff on her hair, so perfect it looked photoshopped. Her husband tagged along, looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. The way they sized me up, you'd think I was the hired help. She actually greeted me like I was all cheerful, then started rattling on about how nice it was to meet the groundskeeper. Didn't even give me a chance to correct her before launching into how excited she was for me to mow her meadow. I really did, to set things straight, pointed out the stone wall, showed the markers, explained this was my family's land, had been for generations. She let out this little laugh like, "Aren't you adorable?" and told me her realtor said their property went all the way to my barn, 200 yards inside my line, just for the record. I pulled out the new survey, county stamped and everything, but she brushed me off like I was offering her fake coupons. Her husband finally pipes up, backs her, says they paid for the bigger lot and the country ambiance, and walks off with her like they'd just shut down a charity case. I stood there, post in hand, thinking, well, this is gonna get ugly. Next thing I know, they're out with tape measures, taking pictures, whispering by my barn, basically holding secret summits by the stone wall. I tried to let it slide until one morning I find my grandma's wildflower meadow chopped flat, a perfect square shaved through the blooms, their fancy patio chairs plopped right in the middle like they owned the world. I just about lost it. I grabbed my deed, took photos, and marched over. They were sipping lattes, acting like they'd rented the Hamptons for the weekend. I stayed calm, laid out the boundary, said, "Look, this is my land. You gotta move your stuff." She barely looked at the papers, called them fake, then accused me of bullying her. Her husband says they have proof and tells me to go get a lawyer. Yeah, that happened. Right then, I knew exactly where this was headed. I called my lawyer, filed a complaint, and put up no trespassing signs every 50 feet along the line. Next morning, 2 sheriff's cars roll up my drive. Turns out the neighbors called 911 on me, claiming I was operating dangerous equipment and threatening them. I just sighed, invited the officers in for coffee, laid out every deed survey, even the county maps. The deputies got it, instantly told me this was a classic case of trespass. The neighbors, meanwhile, went nuclear, screaming at the officers, threatening lawsuits, saying they'd call the feds. The deputies told them to stay off my land or face criminal charges and warned them about abusing 911. You'd think that'd be the end, but oh no. After that, it was open season. Every week I got hit with some new complaint, animal control, code enforcement, health department, you name it. They said, my pig stank. My rooster was ruining the ambiance. My compost pile was illegal. My tractor was an eyesore. Inspectors would show up, take a look, shake their heads, sometimes even compliment the farm, but it kept coming week after week like they thought they could just grind me down. Then, out of nowhere comes a little twist I didn't see coming. One morning, I spot her yanking up my no trespassing signs, flinging them over to her side, yelling that half my farm is hers and she's taking me to court. That was it for me. I called a contractor, had him build a 6-foot privacy fence right on the property line, solid wood, at the bottom mesh on top. On their side, it was plain, but on mine, I planted a wall of climbing roses and morning glories. Give it a year, you'd never even see the fence, just color and scent. Right behind it, I set up the compost pile, perfectly legal and downwind from their precious patio. Moved my guinea fowl out there too and let Hamlet have his own mud spa right by the fence. My favorite move, though, I put my rooster general in a new coop as close to their house as zoning would allow. That bird's got a set of pipes, starts crowing at 4:30 a.m., echoes straight across their yard. I mean, if you're going to live next to a farm, might as well get the full experience, right? The next few months were straight out of a sitcom. The neighbors kept calling inspectors, but every time the officials just shrugged and left. Word got around town fast. The new folks with the glass palace. They became the running joke at the diner and feed store. They even tried to hire lawyers to force me to move the fence or the animals. Everyone told them the same thing. That's farm country, friend. You moved here, you deal. They tried to get other neighbors to complain, but nobody wanted any part of it. Funniest thing I ever saw, 4 months later, a big for sale sign popped up on their perfect lawn. I watched them show that house again and again. Every buyer got the full tour, the view of a 6-foot fence, the scent of my compost Hamlet, snorting like a train general. So belting out his rooster opera, the price just kept dropping. When they finally left heads down, I watched the new folks roll in real country people, muddy boots and all. The dad drove right up, offered to help mend the wall, and his kids started hanging around learning farm chores. They loved the noise, loved the animals, and for the first time in a year, the farm felt like home again. I went from the villain to the legend, all because I stuck it out and kept my ground. Looking back, I never wanted to fight. I just wanted to honor my family and keep the land the way it was meant to be. But sometimes you got to push back, not with fists or drama, but with patience, stubbornness, and maybe a little country-style creativity. My revenge. Just living right, doing what I love, and letting entitled folks learn the hard way that the country isn't just an Instagram background. So I gotta ask, what would you have done if someone tried to steal your family's land? Who do you think was right? Who was wrong? If you've ever had a neighbor who just wouldn't quit, drop your story below. Let's see whose tail takes the cake. Community justice entitlement. Let's talk about it.